Hello, my friends. I wanted to show you this new experiment that I have uh, that I'm doing on my back porch. And I've gotten a little bit of a mess going on here, but I wanted to show it to you just the same. So as I said, I'm here out on the back porch. You can see it's a beautiful day. Sun's just coming up. I think we're supposed to be in the 80s today. Anyway, I started watching a new channel, and his name is Captain Matt, and he is actually a boat captain on the Hudson, and he and his wife started a worm farm, and they have it more indoors. You know, it looks like it's a warehouse of some sort, but he was showing a very simple method for making worm tea out of worm castings. And so he said, take a 5-gallon bucket, which is what this is, and if you have just regular chlorinated water, then you need to have a bubbler. This is a 4-watt bubbler. I bought it from Amazon. I think it was $17, $18, something like that. And you can see it's got 2 tubes to it, and these are little aerator bubbles, stones, excuse me, and there's 2 of those in there. And now he takes, out of that 5-gallon bucket, he adds 4.5 gallons of water, and then he adds 5 pounds of worm castings and 2 tablespoons of molasses. And he was not really that precise about how he was measuring his molasses, but I did do pretty close to 2 tablespoons. But I'm going to do mine just a little different. I don't know if this is going to make it a little neater, because what he did, and excuse me, let me start that again. If you have chlorinated water, you take your bubbler and you let it aerate for a few hours, and the oxygen being pushed in there will dissipate the chlorine from the water itself. So I have rainwater, so I didn't really need to oxygenate this at all before I started, but I wanted to, just to make sure that my little system worked. So this has been oxygenating overnight, so we ought to be really powered really powered up by now. So anyway, just over here I have my 2 tablespoons of molasses. This is an unsulfured molasses, and I have, this is about 3 pounds of worm castings. So I'm going to take my molasses over here, and I'm going to add it in. I'm going to rinse it out. Sticky, isn't it? Start to remember what molasses was like. And this will get all the good bacteria and microbes and what have you to start working. And this is the brand I used, and you can see it says un-sulfured. He said if you do sulfured, it will kill the worms, so we definitely want un-sulfured. Okay, so we've got that going, and now I'm going to try and do this. I think this might be a little neater. He actually took his 5 pounds of castings and just poured them in there, and then I don't know how well that's going to work. It seems to be. There. What do you know? He poured it in there, and then he stirred it around, and he let that sit for 24 hours. And then he took another clean bucket, and he put in a cold brew filter bag, whatever you want to call it, and it actually fit inside that. And then he poured everything into that clean bucket with the filter bag in it, and then he started to raise the filter bag, and it filtered everything very nicely. So I don't know if this is going to be too not fine enough, this nylon mesh, and if it is and it all comes out, well, then we'll do it his way. I'll figure out something else I can run it through, or I'll let it siphon off. In his case, he had his nice little bottles. He was making worm tea so that he could show you how to sell it, and flea markets or farmers markets or however you were going to sell it. And so he was doing an actual saleable product. I want this worm tea so that I can then dilute it, and he has instructions: dilute it a 10 to 1, 9 parts water to 1 part this, 10 parts water to 1 part this tea. So if I've got maybe close to 4 gallons there, I should really be able to make about 40 gallons of worm tea that I can then put out in my garden and either water my plants, or if I want to spray and use it as a foliar spray, I can do that. So anyway, that was all I wanted to show you. Was that this looks like a pretty simple little concoction, doesn't it? And I mean, this seemed pretty simple and very inexpensive, under $20. And I just used one of my bamboo stakes that I'm going to stake up my tomatoes with. But you can see, I think it's probably going to quite a bit of it come out of there. Anyway, that was it. I just wanted to show you this, and I'll let this sit until tomorrow morning, and if I have great success, I will come back and talk to you more about let's get something else going. I mean, isn't this so much better than adding fertilizer to your yard? It's if you've got worms, then it's considered free, except for the molasses, of course. So I hope you'll subscribe and ring the bell. You'll get notification when I make a new video, and I hope you will garden what you've got and come back and see me again soon. I'll be here. Bye bye.